We is back. Up in this biatch.
Y'all fucking with this? Let me know.
Yeah,
Michael.stein4126@gmail.com. Let me know what y'all think about this.
Turn off Beethoven.
Huh?
Turn off Beethoven.
That's a little intro thing, bro.
Yeah, man, stop hating, man. Shit. With your extra 10-hour drunk ass.
Watch mine, not 12.
Oh, sorry. 12-hour drunk ass. So I wanted to come up with this topic and stuff because I'm hearing all this Me Too movement and all this other stuff. So I create a hashtag of holding women accountable. A new year, new thing. I know you're shaking your head, Michael Stein, but at the same time too, it's 2020. Something's got to give, bro.
Oh, for sure. I just ain't. I ain't the nigga qualified for it.
You know, I'm gonna get into it. I kind of want to work a different angle real quick.
Oh, well, go ahead.
I'll definitely get to it.
Yeah.
Like, have you guys watched the Don't Fuck It Up, Don't Fuck This Up with Kevin Hart?
I've not.
You have?
Yeah, I have.
You watched it, Lupe?
You can spoil it. That's fine.
Shouts out to Kevin Hart.
Have you watched the Chops? All right, well, either way.
Go ahead, man.
You know, Kevin Hart had gotten into some issues about making a homophobic statement in one of his jokes a long time ago. Like 10 years ago. But then it came to that issue where he ended up having to host, the Grammys or something?
No, the
Oscars. And then somebody had brought up that from 10 years ago, how he made a homophobic remark. And they wanted him to apologize for it. Now, his defense was, I don't say he apologized for it. He didn't verbally apologize. He realized his mistakes and he corrected his mistakes because in the last 10 years he hasn't made a homophobic remark since. He learned that what he did was wrong and he didn't do it again. And for them to bring that up, it's like bringing up old news. Like, why are you trying to bring something that's already dead and gone back up? Like, I've already corrected the situation and moved forward. And he refused to apologize because he felt like it is encouraging that kind of behavior. Like, why?
Cancel culture.
Huh?
Cancel culture.
Like, this motherfucker said this however many years ago. Fuck him, he canceled. Pretty much is what Kevin.
Well, he's not even saying the cancel culture. He's talking about just like that Me Too movement. Like, it's always okay as long as we keep encouraging him to say, yeah, we want him to apologize for something he did 10 years ago. Like, no, it was old. Like,
you can continue on that, but I was just gonna say real quick. He said he wasn't gonna apologize. Then he proceeded to do a press run on every fucking show, apologizing for shit that he was on, like all the talk shows.
Again, I'm basing this off the TV show.
Oh no, for sure.
Because he said he went on Ellen, and
they talked about this when he came to the Breakfast Club. And they was like, it's crazy because Kevin Hart said he wasn't going to apologize. And then he went on to do a press run where that nigga ain't do nothing but literally fucking apologize. I watched every show.
Okay, can I say something real quick? Shouts out to Ellen.
Yo, Ellen fine, bro.
Good, man.
She fine, too.
But his initial statement, though, I felt it like he had a very solid point to me on that. Like, yeah, he did something years ago and he corrected that behavior and didn't do it again. And now you want to apologize for it, like, essentially again because you just found out about it? Like, that was 10 years ago. Like, bringing up old shit. Like, I've done that, moved on, and now you want me to relive this all over again?
I don't think you should have apologized in the first place.
I don't think so either because we are entitled to our own opinions. And especially as comedians. Comedians are known for touching risky certain subjects.
Yeah. Dave Chappelle,
yeah.
Sticks and Stones.
Dave Chappelle brought it up too.
Yeah, he just doubled down on it.
Yeah.
He said it in that. He said it in that. In that special that
you can't say the word faggot. Like, why
he's like,
you're not a faggot. I'm not a nigga either.
Yeah, like, well, he said Kevin Hart said he wasn't going to apologize. Then he went on a fucking press run and only apologized. That was true. Like, motherfuckers was saying it before Dave Chappelle put in the special.
Right.
Like,
but with this special, I'm just looking at the special. But hearing Kevin Hart's defense to it. And I respect it. I do respect his defense to it. So when it comes like to this Me Too movement thing, like if I done something and apologized for it and ate my crime back then, whatever my punishment was, why are we talking about it now?
Shift that. The LGBT argument is what Kevin Hart was in water for. Like, it's weird if you try to, don't say Me Too, because then it's weird like, I get it, I sexually assaulted this bitch. But I said sorry and move on. Don't say Me Too, because that's, Kevin Hart wasn't arguing Me Too. He was arguing LBGT. Because he said the thing about if my son is gay. That was an LGBT argument. It's different with Me Too.
You can't just. I don't know the exact Me Too, but let's say like I was living a certain lifestyle. Yeah. And I get, for example, me being young and being promiscuous in my younger age. Mm-hmm. And what? Little spring chicken alone. I said promiscuous in my younger age. Oh, okay. You wake up over
there. The roots are still in the hen house now.
I know.
So for me to be like, okay, yeah, I apologize to all the women that I might have done wrong at my younger age, and this, that, and other, blah, blah, blah. And let's say 10 years from now, they come like, yeah, you did this to. I apologize a long time. Why are we trying to bring this up?
All right, well then let me ask the question: if somebody did something fucked up to a female loved one of yours, I would argue that it's not enough apologizing on earth to make you forgive them for that. If somebody assaulted sexually my sister, my daughter, my mother, any of those people, and then they came out publicly apologized,
I don't want to talk on that.
I'm a beat the sleeves off of them till I'm dead.
I'm gonna tell you this one too, because I have strong women in my family. Mm-hmm. And I'm not saying physically strong, but just like that mentally strong. I'm a woman, I can handle myself kind of thing. Because me as a man can sit up here and say, hey, don't go to that party. This, that, and I'm going to go to that party, blah, 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 blah. If something happens, she put herself in that situation. One. So when they come back, what am I going to do? Nothing, I told her not to go. What happened here, that's fucked up. What she chooses to do, fine, I support it. But I am not going to do anything. Because I told her not to go because I know what's going on.
Same thing with your daughter? If you have one? If you have a daughter who's 16 and she go to a party, a school party, and she end up getting...
I don't like doing the if shit. I'm just going to say, what if the world end tomorrow? I won't have a daughter.
No, and I get that, but...
we can what if shit all day.
Yeah, but it's hypothetical.
It's hypothetically, look. I mean, hypothetically, my daughter wouldn't be at that party. If she went to that party, she getting her ass beat. Whatever happened at that party, happened at that party, but it was her fault because I told her not to go.
She get raped, you going to beat her ass and not do nothing to the motherfuckers who raped her. Right, because I know you. And I know that you're going to ride for yours. I get what you're saying. Your arguments are valid. However, if you have a child and that child happens to be a girl and she get raped at a party that you told her not to go to, whether she went with your blessing or not with your blessing, if she get raped, she didn't ask for that. You don't ask to get raped.
Now, hold on. Before
you gonna fuck niggas up?
No, because women get raped for a lot of different shit. One,
and if it's your daughter, you gonna fuck them up.
I don't know my daughter. First of all, I mean, as a parent, we might think we know our kids, but how much shit do you know that you did that your parents don't know that you was doing?
For sure, I wasn't raping bitches though.
I ain't talking about raping. My family don't know half the shit I did as a kid.
For sure,
or a teenager.
But I would argue that most parents, if they have a daughter and that daughter gets raped, they do not care about the circumstances. If she gets raped,
in the circumstance that she walk into school and get raped, that's one thing.
If she walk in the party,
but if she going to this party, I'm probably not condoning.
For sure. So she sneak out the crib. She gone anyway. Yeah, she wrong for going against your wishes, and she should have listened to you. But if a group of niggas decide to run a train on her, she didn't ask for that.
Where?
It's at the party.
But I'm saying, like, she on the way to a party, get raped on the way to a party.
No, she get raped at the party.
At the party? See, I'm not there. I don't know. Because I don't know what my daughter do at school or at the party. Same thing, like I got a sister. She do certain shit.
That's a sister.
No, I'm saying. Because I know, I'm speaking realistically.
Realistically, girls
I'm not going to sit up here and say... Yeah, and at the same time, I know certain girls put themselves in that situation, and when shit go left, then they want to scream rape. Because she can be at this party flirting with everybody, yeah, I go in this room, and once she get real, she got 10 dicks on her face, like, oh, hold up.
No,
like, you brought yourself in this room with these 10 dudes.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, he said 10 dicks.
I know
shout out to Cherry Hilson.
I know your argument. I mean, for a fact, you got evidence that she was just at the party cooling with her female friends, and then a group of niggas impose themselves up on her, drag her in the room, and rape her. Yeah, that's specifically what I'm talking about.
That is a solid, rape.
Yeah, even though she went against your will, when she went to that party against your will, she did not go there asking to get raped. A group of niggas decide, yo, she look fine as a motherfucker, let's drag in this room and take that pussy. You gonna fuck them up if you can. You're going to fuck them up. Even though she went against your will, even though she should have been at that party, even though you told her not to go, I would argue that if you have a 16-year-old daughter,
but again,
and she get raped, you going
at that present time, yes.
That's all I'm
arguing. 10 years from down the road, I'm not going to bring this shit up again. Talking about how he raped my daughter 10 years ago. We handled this shit 10 years ago.
Well, and that's you. You would nip that shit in the bud when it happened. However, every woman out there don't have a you.
But
the argument for the Me Too is the primary argument for it is there are men who are in positions of power who
that's all it is. What it comes down to is position of power.
It's not just
because
that.
I'm gonna say I'm a nobody, and I was out here having one night stands and shit like that.
Right.
But let's say I became somebody. Now one of these one night stands want to say I raped them.
Right. That's not Me Too. That's not Me Too. Do you? Hold on. Let me ask you. Do you or do you not think that it's a such thing as white privilege?
Yes.
You do believe that there's white privilege?
Yes, I know it is.
Right. Do you believe that in the workforce in general that men are awarded luxuries that women aren't allotted or awarded? Do you agree that?
I do agree, but also agree the other way as well.
For sure.
Yeah.
The argument,
so it goes both ways.
For sure. The argument with Me Too is that men in positions of power have been able to behave in a way that their behavior was unchecked because of who they are.
Now check this out.
Hold on, and
I just had this conversation with a female coworker.
Yeah, I was gonna say, and that there is an aspect of because they are who they are, i.e., Harvey Weinstein and others like him, that if you want to gain gainful employment, you're gonna do this.
Well, hold on.
Because what I'm saying,
because that's what it started.
What happened? There was a specific thing. A person in power, and it's known, especially in my job. I don't want to say abusing power, but just me. They're out here dealing with certain women that, and let's say in the workforce, tend to be a little bit more loose with their stuff.
Yeah.
Now, because they're in a position of power, women do use that because that's how certain women in my field get promoted. Because they deal with somebody higher than them and then turn around and say he raped me or whatever. He used his power to get me here, and then to keep it hush hush, they promote that person, that female, fire him.
And I'm not saying it can't.
Because at the same time, I can do the shit and it's okay.
You right. Because I do think that the Me Too argument at times has been used as a slippery slope. It has been used to the advantage of women.
And yes,
I agree with you with that.
And to me, and that's where like everything just can't be Me Too, because it's happening now. It's a big Me Too thing.
You right. But the amount of shit that men in a position of power have been able to get away with it's a lie.
Also, that too, I can't agree to that because
they've been able to get away with a lot of shit. I'm not saying that women haven't been advantageous of the Me Too movement and just start pointing fingers at a motherfucker and turning Me Too into a witch hunt.
But what I'm saying,
the same way that is bad motherfuckers in Me Too who turn it into a witch hunt is the same motherfuckers who made Black Lives Matter into a negative thing.
Well, I get
the movement started as something powerful. We need to check the motherfuckers who have been, historically speaking, unchecked.
Okay,
now, hold on.
Same thing, but I get it. But where you draw that line? Because let's say because it's a man and a woman, they want to use that. But this same man, especially with white privilege, I might get turned down for a whole bunch of promotions because I'm a black man and you want to promote your white friends. But I'm not out here starting a Me Too movement because I got passed over at work or whatever for promotion.
You should though.
That ain't something that's gonna pass because one, I'm not a white person. Because this, I'm sure this Me Too shit came from a lot of women, and probably a lot of women were white.
Well, it was a lot of women in general, but yeah, a lot of women was white.
Exactly.
But it ain't gonna pass because a lot of people have that same mentality that you just spoke upon. Like it ain't gonna pass. Now when you talking about niggas, we ain't gonna get shit done.
Yeah, niggas don't get raped either.
Well, that's what. Listen,
I don't know if you've been in that part of class where they say men get raped. We don't confront and say it.
That's what
it should happen to us too. We just don't never.
Well, that's what the women who have been arguing this shit in a positive way. They feel exactly what you just said. Like we just amateur, nobody ass actresses. No one's gonna listen to us. This is a director who has, X amount of hundreds of millions of dollars to a studio, and ain't nobody gonna say nothing to them because they're them.
Hold on. I would like to interject because I know y'all talking about the Me Too movement and everything else, but when does it get to a point where instead of just using that Me Too movement, where women have to hold themselves accountable for the shit that they do.
And I said
that's what I'm saying. That's why I want.
Yeah, I agree.
That's why I'm putting that in there.
I do think that there are scenarios of women who have exploited themselves or utilized their stature as a woman to gain things, whether they felt like they had to do it in order to get advanced, because there are a lot of women who feel like if they ain't coming out without the top 2 buttons buttoned on their shirt, they're not gonna get adequate listening. They're not gonna be able to hold the court in the same way as if you came up in there and your son said, I want to raise. Well, that's a different conversation versus if Beth from accounting come in and say she want to raise and she wearing a pantsuit. That's not going to happen. But if Beth from accounting come in there with a pencil skirt and the top 2 buttons on her shirt unbuttoned, well, now she got an audience with me because I'm looking at her. Yeah. Like, I'm not saying that women haven't, exploited themselves in a way to seek, gain in whatever field that they using that in. That's a whole nother conversation. The system shouldn't be set up for them to even feel like they have to do that. That's a different argument from me too. But I do get what you're saying.
But how do you
women who it's a hard thing. It's a hard thing to
because
prove.
That's what I'm saying. That's what because women
but
aren't
hold
dumb.
on. But listen,
they very smart creatures and they do shit like that on purpose.
Listen. But that same argument on where do they draw the line is the same argument that was used against us when we started saying people is racist. Well, maybe he's just not qualified. Where do you
That's
draw?
an easy line.
Well, where do you draw? No, it's not an easy line. Where do you draw?
What are the qualifications? That is a solid line.
No. I mean,
what are your qualifications?
When you purposely discriminate against or don't hire, that's why we got equal opportunity employees. That's why the EEO shit is a thing. Well, where do we draw the line? Because they asked that question too when black folks was arguing for rights in the workforce and shit. Well, where do we draw the line? Maybe it's just this. Maybe it's just this nigga being this nigga.
And see, that's what I'm saying.
All the shit is slippery slope.
It's not a slippery slope.
I believe
what I'm saying, because everything to me, certain. I'm not saying everything.
I think it's a slippery slope on both ends. I think it's a slippery slope on both ends.
I happen to have more insight to certain things, to a lot of different things or whatever. One being like, especially with my job, we have a union. We're a union job. Just say another shout out to the unions. But I've seen black people, get fired.
Yeah.
For the same thing a white person has done, and that person kept their job. And actually, the white person was more guilty than the black person because what the white person did was on camera.
Right.
So you saw that fight.
Right.
But the black person was not on camera. It was just a he say, she say, and he got fired.
So if you the ruling body.
But this is clear cut and dry. If
for sure.
White person get caught. If a white person get caught, let me back it up. You get caught fighting based on these white people, you just get a suspension, like a 10-day suspension.
Right.
That's a solid line, right? Would you say?
Right.
So now you're black and you get caught fighting and they fire you. Is that not?
But here's the slippery slope right there.
Where's the slippery at? Because
if you the ruling body, well, anybody who get into a skirmish, you just gonna fire everybody who get into a skirmish.
No, that's
then we're not gonna have nobody. I'm saying that's how someone who would be in the ruling body will look at that. Do we fire this person and not this person, or do we just say fuck it, it's a zero tolerance and we just gonna fire everybody and have nobody working out? I'm saying
because fight happens and shit like this. We work in a certain area where testosterone with a spot.
For sure.
And that's what I'm saying. With a union, as a union, we have things set and determined.
For sure.
For a fight, this is your punishment. For a DUI, this is your punishment.
For sure.
For cussing out your boss, this is your punishment. These are set lines.
Right.
So anything outside of that line is where where they liable to make shit happen. And that's what I'm saying. That's not what makes it right. Because those are set lines.
Right.
For a fight, this is your punishment. For this is your punishment. And it's been shown with that. But until you're black, now that punishment is different. Is that right? Because these are set lines. Per union and contractual shit, however you want to say it,
right.
This is what happens.
Well, I'm sure.
You get a speeding ticket, you're doing 10 over the speed limit, your fine is $100.
Right.
Now, if you're black, your ticket's $200. Is that right?
Is it?
I'm asking.
I'm not the powers that be.
But that's what I'm saying, though. Because these laws are created to protect people.
Which
people?
I get I'm with your argument.
But then when it comes down to this women shit, because
I'm so,
and when this part, what I
listen,
say,
back to before you touch on the women shit, pause. Or no, me too. Before you touch on the women shit, no, me too. No, me too.
Put your hands down.
But to that argument, I'm sure that it's somebody somewhere who had that same argument in the. Well, okay. Well, do we fire nobody? Do we fire everybody? Or do we fire it on a case by case basis? Which a case by case basis, it should work, but you've seen firsthand that that's not how it's working. But I'm sure that somebody up there determined that we're gonna fire him and we're not gonna fire him. Is it prejudice in play? Is it discrimination in play? I would argue, yeah, based on what you've told me about the situation. But I'm sure that somebody tried to recant that and refute and rebuttal that and say, well, fuck it, just fire everybody. I'm sure somebody said that. And that's what I mean by a slippery slope.
They try to make the black guy to be the bad guy. They try to say he intends. The white shit was caught on camera. There was no question about who threw the first punch, how it started. It showed everything from the verbal altercation to like this shit to hands being thrown.
Right.
Because they did it right here in front of the fucking camera. The shit with the black person, they didn't know who threw the first punch, how it started. So it's hearsay.
Right.
But now because
how do you handle
black,
hearsay?
It depends on your color. Now, if you're black, you're wrong. You're guilty. So now we got to make it to be your fault. We're going to listen to what the white guy said.
Yeah.
And then we're going to make everything we can to be your fault. You intentionally came to do it.
So
you did. And you can argue different, but they're going to go with the white side because you're a black.
Well, because
none of it was proven. You can't prove it because nobody saw it. Nobody was there. No cameras.
Well, just like black people feel like, well, they going to be guilty or they the ones at fault. Just like black people feel like they're guilty or they're the ones at fault. Before the Me Too movement became a national talking piece, I'm sure that the women didn't come forward because they thought the same thing. Well, I'm a woman and I was acting this way or dressing this way or behaving this way and I invited that. That's why I'm not going to say anything. And I'm sure they felt the same way.
And I'm not trying to downplay the women's side.
You're not trying to marginalize that
because I know stuff like that happens.
Yeah.
But I do also know more than most women put themselves in a situation. And again, I've seen this firsthand. I've heard it firsthand. Like, as a man, we're men, we like certain women. I mean, let's say you see a woman walk by, you're like, damn, she look good. Married or not, we gonna look. So as a female, you know if this man looking at you or not. Now, if this man is in a position of power, and I'm going to speak on a certain situation, this female, she told me she's going to go to this party that this said person in power was at.
Yeah.
And she was like, I got to find me something skimpy to wear.
Yeah.
I said, for what? Oh, because I know he liked me, so I'm going to give him something to look at so I can get some special favors. Her words.
Yeah.
I was sick when she said it, but I was also kind of happy that she was that honest to tell me. But I was sick because she just admitted the shit we argue about what if they did it, if not. She just said it.
Yeah.
Because there are women like her.
Yeah.
And she just openly admitted that shit to me.
Well, then it becomes.
But then it turns around. She gets what she got. And then say he raped me or he did this.
Well, if she do come to the party, wear some skimpy, give him some eye candy and shit like that, who determines if he acts or not? Him, right? Him, right? So
what I'm saying, she come to that party. You come to this party from she come to this party because she want to give me something to look at. And I say, come back here in this room, and you come back in this. We all adults, and I'm coming in this bed. We think we can really come back here and talk.
Who asked that though? Come back in this room with me. Who decision was that?
I'm saying if he said that.
If he said that, so that makes him at fault.
No, because she
don't have to. She don't have
to go in that room.
Listen, she can come in that bitch in the thong and some pasties over her titties. But soon as he say, "Come holler at me," well then it's on him.
But how is it on him? And
because
it was consent. She went in there. She could have said no and walked off. She put herself in that position.
But listen, the same way she could have said no and walked off, she also could have not wore that to the party. But he could have not asked her to come to the back. But he could have not asked her to come to the back.
Therefore, she has to take accountability.
Thank you.
Right. I don't disagree with that. I don't disagree with that because off air or a little bit on air, we was talking about Lizzo.
Yeah.
Like, while I do agree that there are the way that society has been set up for us, the way that it has been, like, certain things warrant certain responses.
Well, actually, not to interrupt and stuff, but fuck society. Let's just do like just basic common sense.
All right, for sure.
Because common sense and society is two different things. Society is going to tell you what they think they want you to do. Right. Common sense, you know what's right and what's wrong.
And you know what's wrong. So if a bitch come in the spot dressed a certain way, and I decide to holler at her, and later on she screamed rape, whose fault was it?
Well, see, this is...
Whose fault was it?
This is what I'm saying. Because if I'm standing in the doorway with my dick in my hand, hey, come here. What you think I'm doing? What you think was finna happen back here?
I invited her.
Yes, but I got my dick in my hand. I'm standing there butt ass naked.
So they didn't have to both be at fault. Because just like she didn't have to come in there, he didn't have to invite her.
I say men need to have contracts before they have consensual sex with these.
That's all I'm saying.
Hey, that's the same.
Yeah, that's how it's about to be right now.
I take that shit too.
I feel like, honestly,
I need you need
to have before you come in this room, consent that you wanted to come in here on camera,
I was saying, like, maybe I feel like
because that's damn near what you need for real in this world today. Is damn near video footage. Not even consent. She said I was under the influence. I was high. I didn't know what I was signing. But you got this bitch here. Hey, I'm in the room with Ghana. This, that, and other. Like, hey,
it's a done deal.
Hey,
it's proof right there.
I've had consent and been charged with rape.
Someone, me too. Yeah, me too. But not because even with that little situation, it was a chick I was dealing with. We worked in the same field. Nobody outranked each other, nothing.
What year was this?
2003.
2004.
But either way, she come back to where I'm at, and I slap her on the ass. Nothing out the normal. Do it all the time. Slap her on the ass. She went and told me I molested her. She went and told the boss I molested her. I didn't know she did that. Until the boss came back and pulled me in office. And said, yeah, she said you molested her, you slapped her on the ass. And I'm like, yeah, I slap on the ass. I slap on the ass all the time. We have that relationship, like we deal with each other.
I'm not on your team.
Yeah, and he's like, well, she didn't portray it that way. She portrayed it as if it was unwanted, blah, 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 blah. And he's like, I'm going to go talk to her again. If she wants to continue in this, I'm going to have to fire you. Now I'm back here sick as shit. Like, how the fuck this bitch going to do this? Like, we do this all the time.
Yeah.
And then after when it was all said and done, work's over with, we outside, and she came to me and she told me she thought somebody saw me slap her on the ass, and she didn't want to be viewed as a hoe, so she went and lied on me, so I can get in trouble and not her.
Now, with that, did she ever take accountability for that shit?
What you mean? Did she go tell the boss I'm sorry or something like that?
Yeah, or tell you sorry.
She tell me. Well, she did say sorry, but I don't say if she said sorry. She explained to me why she did what she did.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna necessarily say it was an apology.
She took accountability.
Yeah, did she take accountability?
She told me why she did what she did, the same day, because she didn't want to get viewed as a hoe, so she wouldn't say that. Like, that's to me some harsh shit right there.
That's some fucked up shit, but she admitted, like, that's why she did what
after work, after the fact, because if I don't know, because I could have still ended up fired.
You could have.
Yeah. If then she'd have came to my house or some shit. Like, I'm sorry, Gunna, I did it only because it's bitch, I'm getting charged now. Like,
right. Well, in an argument to that would be,
I can't give one.
Oh, I thought
the argument to that would have been like, well, maybe you shouldn't have slapped on the ass.
Ever? Like somebody I slap on the ass all the time? Like,
well, if you get in trouble for it, then maybe you shouldn't have been doing it in the first place.
You know, Michael,
like let's say like I got a chick like I'm fucking all the time, and just because it's at my house and we fuck here, now I bring her to your house, and I'm like, let me use your room real quick.
Hypothetical.
Let me use your room real quick. And I fuck in the room. Now she said I raped her when we've already had sex multiple times. But now
exactly. No, my thing is like shit like that. Like if y'all already have a connection and y'all have a relationship. It may not be sexual relationship, but it might be pre-sexual, or she might you grab on her ass or anything else. Yeah. She knows what's up. So for her to feel some type of way to where she didn't want nobody to think of her as a hoe,
right?
Therefore, she's scared of the judgment that people are going to see upon her. But at the same time, too, she knew what it was. Therefore, that's why I was
for sure. No, listen.
That's why I'll be like, where is the accountability?
Right. Both of y'all opinions are right. The problem with the Me Too thing, or where the problem that led to the Me Too thing was, there were instances where it didn't matter if she said whatever, it was her fault. That's why it was an argument in the first place. Like the conversations that we have now are in the wake of post Me Too, and then we asking questions about accountability: who was right, who was wrong, who should have behaved in here, who was responsible for the transgressions that occurred. And I get that, but the whole reason that it's even a Me Too thing is because once upon a time, it just didn't matter. It didn't matter if she came in there in a pantsuit looking like Hillary Clinton. If he took the pussy, it was her fault. And if she came in there in a bikini and she wanted it, it was still her fault. Like, that's where the Me Too movement, the actual argument came from, and that's what it's supposed to be. But much like many things that take a public platform, oftentimes the shit gets skewed. Just like we knew what Black Lives Matter meant, we know what it means to us. Like, you get the argument of, well, not just Black Lives Matter, all lives matter. When you say all lives matter, that means you are specifically taking the spotlight from the trials, tribulations, and the transgressions experienced by black people. That's what we meant by Black lives. All lives do matter, but Black lives happen to experience an unjust and unfair amount of scrutiny and bogus ass behavior. Yeah. Like, all lives matter, but Black lives matter too. And it hasn't been Black Lives Matter prior to them making that argument and even post that argument, as we see, in the news on a regular basis. So the Me Too movement, that argument was just about women always taking the accountability for behavior, whether it was warranted, unwarranted, whether they wanted it or didn't want it, whether they act like a hoe or act like a housewife. It didn't matter. They were always at fault. And then the argument became, well, when are men going to take the accountability? And that's where it came from. I feel like anytime anything pop up in the media, this shit gets skewed, twisted, bent around, spent around, and we have the conversations that we have now. But the true meaning of it was only women were taking accountability. And if y'all listeners or even my co-hosts out here, like, you can ask some women who grew up in a different time than we did, ask them how it was. And, like, there's clear evidence for a long time that women was just getting fucked over. Like, it didn't matter. Like, if a man come on to you, you take that shit because you're supposed to. You want to advance, you get down with it. You want to raise, you get down with it. Even if I come on to you, you get down with it. And women was always looked at the person at fault. And now they fighting back against it.
But is that more important than Black Lives Matter?
No, two different arguments, but the parallels are similar.
Okay, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, two different arguments, but the parallels
Black
are
Lives
similar.
They just downplayed the fuck out of Black Lives
They
Matter.
did, the same way that women were downplayed. Historically speaking.
We black were and is.
True.
Women probably are and is.
Yeah.
But you just downplayed the blacks, and now we're promoting the women. And I'm more saying because it's white women involved.
Well, no, I'm saying like, just like how All Lives Matter came to attack Black Lives Matter. Well, the fact that we even having this the conversation about when a woman gonna be held accountable, that's not just our isolated argument. That's an argument nationally. Like, a lot of men feel the same way that y'all have spoken about and agree with a lot of the points that y'all have made. I've agreed with some of the points that y'all have made. No. Well, that argument is an argument that's taken nationally, and that is the equivalent of All Lives Matter.
Well, Mr. I understand what you're saying, but I feel sometimes if you take away the Me Too movement and you just look at the facts. For a prime example, we can look at R. Kelly. We already know his situation and everything else. They're making documentaries on him, knowing for a fact that them females knew what was up, and they still went and did what they did. I know you got that look. I'm using that as an example.
The age part, but outside the age part,
I'll give you that. But as they got older, they knew what the fuck was going on.
Yeah.
That's just pure common sense. I don't care about social media or anything else because sometimes social media will also try to manipulate.
If a grown bitch,
what's going on.
If a grown bitch was fucking with R. Kelly, it don't matter if he shitted on her. If she was a grown bitch, that's on her. If you let him do it, and that's how you was getting your kicks at the time, don't try to say like, well, he shitted on me. That's the dumb argument. But underaged, that's the thing.
But then some of the females was.
Nah, fuck them.
I'm just saying. You have to add those in there as well. There was some that was underage. We'll admit that. But there was some that was.
He should burn for that.
Yeah.
Like, I remember the last podcast that y'all did, and I was talking about Bill Cosby. And some people had some opinions about Bill Cosby. Like, that's the same argument that I was talking about. Like, all the way up until Bill Cosby went to trial and got convicted, whether it was him trying to buy NBC, him trying to buy BET, what happened to Enos, his son, and all that shit, conspiracy theory shit aside, just because something was cool in the 70s, that doesn't mean that behavior was cool. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, just because, like, it was cool to fuck an animal, and incest was cool. Like, it wasn't against the law until it became against the law. Like, that don't never mean the shit was okay just because it wasn't against the law. Like, if motherfuckers was getting down and they was getting quaaluded and shit like that, or whatever, and that's how everybody was rolling at the time, that still don't make it okay. Like, Hitler was killing a whole bunch of Jews. That didn't make it okay.
Yeah.
Like, it just was that was the culture at the time. It was fuck Jews. That was the culture in Germany. Like, you find them, you shoot them. We shoot skeet with babies. That's how we getting down. That did not make it okay, and that's why the war and all the things that happened and the fallout of that occurred. Like, just because he was roofing bitches and shit like that, and so was everybody, that don't mean it was okay, even if that was the lifestyle. Like, it's an aspect of morality in there, and if them women decided that one day they should come out and say something about the shit in a time and a climate where they felt like their voices would be heard, well, then it's more power to them. Like, he did what he did, if that's how everybody was living, or if that's not how everybody was living. Like, that's what happened. It was Nazis who was getting who was standing trial in the late 80s and 90s and shit for their crimes in the fucking whatever. So just because it was 20 years after the war, do that mean they shouldn't have to answer for that shit? Like, they was only doing what German niggas was doing at the time. So should they not answer, or should they answer? And most people feel like they should fucking answer, because just because that was what culturally was okay, that doesn't mean it was an okay thing to do. Like, shooting a baby ain't never okay. It don't matter if you hate Jews. Like, and eventually, those people, many years after the war concluded, had to stand trial for that shit. Bill Cosby was quaaluding bitches. And it might have been culturally acceptable at the time, but morally, that's not okay.
Okay, with now, when you saying that, how do you feel about statutes of limitation? Because if it's over 20 years and it's past the statute of limitations, why are you trying now? Why didn't you do it years beforehand? And they knew about it.
Because beforehand, and there's many examples of that when women have tried to speak out about the shit, they get snuffed. They get snuffed the fuck out. They getting
snuffed now. So I'm just saying they getting snuffed now.
They getting snuffed now, but now it's a national conversation about it. This is the first time that it's been a national conversation about it. Like, I don't think that if you feel like you was abused, I don't think it should be a statute of limitations about it. Whether if it's a thing where society has changed in a way where now disenfranchised people in that specific situation now have a voice, because black people was getting fucked over for a long ass time until the civil rights conversation became a national conversation, and then we started getting rights. Like, so we just shouldn't have said nothing. We're like, well, I get it, my great grandmama was a slave, you know, whatever. Well, fuck it. Like, it's statute of limitations. That didn't happen with nobody else. Like, when it became a climate, where that could be discussed and you will be heard with a just ear, well, that's when you talk about it. It ain't no sense in talking about nothing where you're going to get shut the fuck down on it, because you know you're going to get shut the fuck down. All the people who tried before you and all the people who tried after you was getting shut down. You bring it up when you have a just ear to hear your argument. Like, if you raped a bitch it don't matter when she say something about it. You should have never raped the bitch. So if they bring it up 30 years after you raped the bitch, she should still, and 30 years later was when there was going to be a just ear to hear her argument, and 30 years ago that shit would have got dismissed. He was a man, and you came on to him, case dismissed. Why would you say something then if 30 years later people are going to actually listen and consider what you're saying? You say something when you got a dog in the fight. You don't say nothing when your shit just gonna get smoothed over and swept under the rug.
That being
so
said,
when is enough is enough?
Held more accountable than black people are now. Is what you're saying? Because black people, we ain't got that dog to fight. Is what you're saying?
We don't have a just ear.
Exactly. Okay, I'm glad you said it. I mean,
I don't think we. I personally don't believe that we are in a climate where we have, as black people, a just ear.
We don't. But women have always had more of a just ear than men anyway, in any culture, even back in slavery. Yeah.
No, women haven't had more of a just ear. Men had a just ear way longer than men.
Over blacks.
Oh, for sure.
Over blacks.
For sure. And I'm not using that to compare them. I'm using it as a parallel.
I know. And I'm using it because I feel like I always got to speak on the black side.
Yeah, like I'm not never trying to marginalize our fight. Like the plight of black people is worse than any other group in America
right now.
No, it always has been. We've had it worse than
in America. Yes.
In America, yes. We have had it worse than any other group. We've had it worse than women. We've had it worse than Hispanics. We've had it worse than Muslims, pre and post 9/11. We have historically had the worst end of the stick
in America.
In America,
yes.
Specifically that.
Yes.
Yeah,
I can agree with that.
So when can we say that enough is enough? It's like when do you say?
I guess when we get that just ear. Oh well, as far as
I'm just saying all together. All together, it's like when it's enough is enough. It's like if you don't say something, then you get held back. But if you say something now, now you're getting the attention.
It's weird to me.
It's like when is enough is enough.
It's weird to me when we say like when is enough when it comes to women, but like when it comes to children, like who was abused as kids and shit, and now because they are adults, they feel like they have a leg to stand on, and people will listen to them because there's countless counts of children being abused and nobody believes them because they fucking kids. And like now, because they adults and they have a leg to stand on, nobody ever says when is enough to an abused child who's speaking out about it as an adult.
I feel like if
your uncle was fucking you in the ass and you was a 3-year-old boy and you didn't feel like you had a leg to stand on or just ear to hear you until you was 20, is his case not any more important than any other little boy who out here getting abused? No, it's not. Like he should have the same stand. I feel like that we are a culture that overgeneralizes shit. I feel like every case in any movement, whether it's Black Lives Matter, Me Too, or any other argument that we making, I feel like each case should be looked at individually. We had the same argument once upon a time about being a registered sex offender. If you're touching on little girls or little boys, whatever, you should be a sex offender. Yeah. However, if I'm a construction worker and I'm behind a demolished building and I take a piss and somebody happens to walk past me taking a piss because there ain't no porta potties and this house is in refuse, you can't use a bathroom there because it ain't one to use, and I take a piss outside, if a schoolgirl walk past me and call the police or tell her mom and her mom call the police, I'm a sex offender. And it's just a general thing. We all know how we feel about sex offenders. If you hear somebody a sex offender, he like little girls or he like little boys. That's the only thing that comes to your mind. You don't think about it as an individualized case. And I do think that these arguments, as well as some of the laws are in place, need to be looked at an individual case. Like Me Too movement is such a big thing that nobody has time to sit down and look at each case individually. Nobody has time to do that, and you can look at that for the judicial system in America. We overwork, underpaid, and understaffed. Nobody has time to look at each individual argument, bring up the facts.
If that's
too
what
much
you're getting
time.
paid to do, you have
that
time.
Well, but that's not the fault of either person arguing on either side, that's a fault of America. That's a fault of us. We don't have adequate shit in a lot of shit. That's how come people still getting the wrong medicine. That's how come cases like Flint, Michigan still happen in 2019 and 2020. That's how come a lot of shit gets overlooked. How we get overlooked because we overworked, underpaid, and understaffed. Like we just don't have enough people in each place to adequately look at everything we need to adequately look at. So all of these cases, at that point, we're arguing at a deeper root of the issue. I think that Me Too is used and abused. I think it is used correctly, and I think it's abused. Just like I think the same thing about Black Lives Matter too. I think it is used correctly in some cases, and I think it's abused in some cases. I think that about a whole lot of shit. And until we come to a point where people can actually dedicate the amount of time and resources to adequately analyze each situation in each case, we're going to keep having an argument on when is enough, because if you generalize it and you look at it as broad, then we start getting on the slippery slope. Well, fuck it. You did it. He maybe didn't do it, but y'all two did it, so fuck it. All three of y'all did it.
Yeah, so
until we have a chance to look at and analyze shit adequately, well, then we're going to be in that spot.
Then that means so do you feel that we still have to hold ourselves accountable? I know, as I was saying, I know our topic is kind of getting a little sideways, but I think I'm probably going to switch it up to saying females being held accountable to just people in general need to hold themselves accountable. Let's do it like that. I'm going to switch the topic up to just people holding themselves accountable.
Again, because I ain't never, I'm not saying that y'all wrong because y'all arguing a adequate fucking thing that needs to be addressed. Because just like a Harvey Weinstein, did a bunch of bogus ass shit. Allegedly.
I have to disagree with you on that. I have to disagree with you on that simply because, number one, all those actresses knew at that time, okay, this is Harvey Weinstein, and they even stated that they knew.
That's why
they even stated that they knew, like, yeah, I know what type of person he is. Right. But at the same time, too, they still went forth with that shit. So therefore,
that's why I said allegedly. Yeah. He did bogus shit allegedly. I wasn't there. I'm not a lawyer. Yeah. I haven't reviewed.
I'm just going off what what people are saying.
So allegedly.
I'm just saying from a perspective of all these women that are stating all this stuff.
Yeah, I feel like if I know that you rob niggas on a daily basis, I'm not gonna come over there with my wallet. You know what I'm saying? However, you shouldn't be robbing niggas.
I feel like he did it, but at the same time too, I still feel that females need to hold themselves accountable because all those females that stated all that.
I would. Okay, so are you cool with saying that Bill shouldn't be in trouble? Because all the females back then, they knew what the Quaaludes and all that shit was. I don't think Bill should have been in trouble.
Yeah, I don't think he should be in trouble.
Shit only came about when he tried to take over NBC.
Yeah, that's the only reason why.
The nigga wants to be in charge.
But again, you're taking something socially acceptable, like Quaaludes was socially acceptable back then.
Right, and like crack in the 80s.
Yeah, and I don't
just really, like cocaine.
I necessarily don't 100% believe. I
love that shit.
I wasn't there. I don't really believe like you as a female. I'm just dropping this shit in your drink when you turn your head. I believe it's like, hey, look, got these pills. You want to try it here? Put it in your drink, let it dissolve. And you like, I believe this is. They know what we're doing. This is how we do it. When you come over to my house, I got a bottle of drink. You got to pour this in a cup and partake in this. This is how you get the effects of it.
Well, this ain't the communion. But
what I'm just saying, it was socially accepted. Like they knew what was going on,
and that's why I was saying, like, socially acceptable and morally just. Are mutually exclusive.
Let's say like marijuana is legalized now in the state of Illinois.
Yeah.
But let's say smoking marijuana, let's say
it's illegal federally.
Okay.
It's who?
It's illegal federal.
It's legal.
I thought you said
it's illegal federal.
Illegal. Okay, so either way. But it's something that people do socially today. Yeah. Right? So you come over my house and we smoke weed. It's a legal drug, but we socially do it. Now we have sex afterwards. Now I rate you because you smoke weed. You willingly partake in this social acceptable thing,
but it's federally illegal.
I get that part. So she should be charged for taking the drug then.
Yeah,
the activities that happen under the influence, just shit that happen under the influence.
Right, and then it could be argued that you couldn't give consent when you under the influence. That's like having sex with a drunk person. You should know that a person can't give consent when they're under the influence because they're under the influence.
So, for example, how many times has a person been drinking, been under the influence, and made a decision?
All the times. People have always made decisions drunk.
Right.
Since drunk was
so they were incapable to make that decision?
Maybe. It could be argued that they were.
There we go. But not every time.
Husband and wife, they out drinking.
Yeah.
Husband asks for sex. The woman says yes. But then she claims that he raped her. But they was both drinking. Yeah. And they married. Yeah. Should he still get charged with the rape?
I
made that decision.
So I personally believe that the husband should not get in trouble in that situation. However, you shouldn't have had the sex because consent doesn't hold up when people are under the influence. You should know that as a responsible adult who consumes alcohol.
Okay, but they're married.
Still. So are you saying that marital rape isn't a thing?
No. What I'm saying is something that's that common.
Under the influence, you shouldn't have sex.
Okay, with that.
So you, as a married couple, y'all go out drinking, so y'all never have sex drinking.
All right,
do.
All right.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah. Shout out Mrs. Michael Stein.
Well, that's
I'll be home later.
So y'all go out drinking, have sex later. Yeah. And it'll be that one time, and you gonna stand on you shouldn't have tried to have sex under the influence. Because that's what you just said. You said because of the under the influence, you're not in the right state of mind to make a decision.
Right.
But this is something that you guys do.
Right.
So tomorrow she says you raped her.
Yeah.
And you guys have a history going out drinking and having sex.
I fucked up.
How you fucked up?
How did you fuck up?
Fucked up. We both fucked up, but I fucked up.
So Miss Stein's like, come here, Michael, get this pussy. You're going to be like, nah, babe, you know what? I've had a drink.
But she rapes you, though.
No.
And you didn't say no to it.
I've said I've not done that before. Like, not necessarily with Mrs. Michael Stein. In the past, before it was a Mrs. Michael Stein, I've done that before. I've been in a situation where I've been drinking, but not as much as the person drinking, and they're like, yeah, come on, let's do this thing. And I'm like, you know what? No, because I don't know what tomorrow gonna bring, and I don't want to be left on the hook for that. That's just a me personal thing. I'm just saying what the argument is. No, I do not feel like the husband should be in trouble. However, I do believe that the argument will be that you should know better than to accept consent when under the influence.
And see, that's why I disagree. Because if this is something that you guys do,
well, that's part of being a responsible. When they say drink responsibly, that's what they're talking about. Not just that, but that's what that entails. That a person who is responsible in their consumption of alcohol would never agree to consent or put out consent, rather, both of them, when under the influence. If you're being responsible, you ain't fucking nobody when you're drunk. I'm not talking about what we socially do. I'm talking about the legality of it. Consent does not hold up if you or the other person is drunk.
See, and that's what I'm saying. I get the consent part if this is a one-time person, like a person I just met. But somebody who you got a history of
don't matter.
To me, it does.
And I get that. That's a personal.
Because like you said, like it's your husband, this is your wife or whatever. Right. You guys have a history of going out drinking, getting drunk, and having sex.
Right.
Well, now this is something you do. Now versus you randomly meet this chick at the bar, and I can get that.
The reason that it became a problem in relationships was because it was a whole bunch of drunk ass husbands who was coming home and fucking their wives when they were saying no, and they was like, nah, y'all married, it's all good.
But that's what the husband being.
I'm saying that's I'm gonna be here. That's where a lot of people. His original statement
was they both was drinking, not just the husband. I give you said where it came from.
Yeah, that's
the husband was under the influence, and that is he pushed himself on her. But I'm talking how he brought it up is it was a mutual thing at that time,
and they would argue as a responsible adult. The legal system will argue as a responsible adult, you should not have accepted consent from a person who was intoxicated.
And to me, that's bullshit. Like you go to court, and
so somebody facing 10 years of marital rape because their wife said yes.
Yeah.
That's fair.
Were y'all out drinking together?
Yeah.
So you knew she was drinking.
She knew I was drinking too.
For sure, you should not have accepted consent.
Have you guys ever been out drinking before and had sex before? Yeah. Have you claimed rape before? No.
Right. But if she says she don't remember or whatever the case may be, then you on the hook for that because you should not accept consent from a person who. I'm just.
I'd have told her like, hey, you need to be more careful what you do because yes, and then all of a sudden
I'm not.
You even said yes at that time.
Don't get me misconstrued. I'm not saying that your argument is wrong, but
that's from how you hold them accountable.
From a legality aspect, that's what someone would
But how
argue.
do you hold them accountable for that? Because she's accountable for her actions.
She drunk.
She was drunk time before that, and it wasn't rape.
For sure.
He was drunk too.
For sure.
So he the more wrong than he is.
But you should not you should not accept consent from someone who's drunk. You knew that before you was drinking.
Now hold on. Before
we all been drinking, right?
Yeah, but hold on.
Rape up in here.
I know, but hold on. Hold on, we're gonna have to.
How do you judge legal intoxication for like
the law?
No, I'm not talking about legal like that legal. I'm talking about to say where somebody can't give an answer to.
Have you been drinking?
Yeah.
Then you can't give consent.
All right.
Why?
We're gonna have to
because you've been drinking.
So if I blow under the legal limit, am I okay to give consent?
No. You still under the influence.
Been drinking though.
Yeah.
And that's that bullshit.
Okay, we out. We gotta go.
Yeah, so we put before. So I know our conversation is really good. We're gonna put this into our after dark session. We're gonna do an after dark for you guys. So go ahead and sit back, relax, and chill. We're gonna take one small break, and we'll be right back after these messages.